So we will be continuing our discussion on Bhagavad Gita. We have discussed yesterday how a person becomes entrapped by senses. Dhyatyo vishayan pumsah sangas teshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamah kamat krodho vijayate. Dhyatyo vishayan pumsah, remembering the sense objects with an attitude that they are enjoyable. Sangas teshu pajayate, a person develops attachment to them. Because of that attachment, he develops lust to enjoy them. And when the lust is not fulfilled, he develops anger. What happens next will be discussed in today's shloka. Please chant after me. Krodhad bhavati sammoha sammoha smriti vibhramaha smriti भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहा सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रमः स्मृति भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहा सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रमः स्मृति भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. Please chant. क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहा सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रमः स्मृति भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. So you have understood how anger comes from lust. So now what happens when the anger comes is explained in this shloka. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. From anger manifest illusion. Bhavati means manifest or comes about. From sammohat smriti vibhrama. Because of illusion, person loses his smriti, that he is soul, he is not the body. Smriti vibhrama. Vibhrama means the intelligence loses the determination. I must control my senses to realize myself. And smriti vibhrama means smriti vibhrama means he forgets his soul. He forgets that he was thinking or he was supposed to be controlling his senses. Just like Vishwamitra. Now you understand, when he started meditating on Menaka and how enjoyable is Menaka, then he forgot for what purpose he was doing austerities for 60,000 years. He forgot that. Are you able to understand this? And Smriti Bhranshad, and once that remembrance is forgotten that I am supposed to be controlling my senses, then Buddhi Nasha. One of the function of Buddhi is determination. I will do this. This is good for me and I will do it, no matter what my mind says. So then that determination becomes lost. As soon as I am thinking I am this body, why will I control my senses? Then I am supposed to serve my senses. As soon as I realize that I am a permanent Haridas, I am an eternal servant of Krishna, then I will engage my senses in Krishna's service only. But as soon as that intelligence is lost, it's finished. Now if you think about it, it is so dangerous. I'll explain about it. Buddhi nashat pranashyati. So once that determination is lost, that I must control my senses, finished. Then he's again in the same whirlpool. Whirlpool, you understand? That not washing machine. Whirlpool is that in a bhavar, in Hindi we call it bhavar, this circular watery area in which one person gets entrapped, he gets sucked in. He just goes inside. So you see, that's why every day when we hear that we are not the body, we feel good. If you actually think about it. I was just hearing Prabhupada lecture and he was saying the same point. Body is only like a dress. And main disease is how to not accept another dress. This body. And for that, nobody's getting educated and nobody is giving education also. The main problem is, the main issue is missed. So, you understand, there are so many teachers who are needed to give this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And the whole thing starts from dhyan, meditating on sense objects. Okay? So these are all explaining how a person falls down. From anger, translation of Srila Prabhupada, from anger complete delusion arises. We must understand, delusion means illusion is to become, this is something right and something wrong. You can't discriminate which is right and wrong. Delusion means what is wrong you consider right. There's a slight difference. Illusion means you don't know what is right and wrong. But delusion means what is wrong we think is right. What is wrong for conditioned soul? For soul, sense gratification. And what do we think? It is very good. This is the only thing which I need in my life. That is called delusion. Something which is absolutely wrong, we think is absolutely correct. And from delusion, bewilderment of memory. What kind of memory? I am supposed to be a spiritualist. I am supposed to control my senses. Forgets. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. What kind of intelligence? How to control my senses. All things is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. You remember again the example of Saubhari Muni? Saubhari Muni was meditating for 10,000 years. And then he just saw two fishes mating with each other, and then again same thing, dhyan. Obviously that illusion happened, that happened within his, that material desire came in his heart because of Vaishnava Prat to Garudaji. You see, he was for 10,000 years, he was in the waters. So he was seeing all those things. So he was not getting affected. But because of the seed of offense, which you know that pastime, he offended Garudaji, and that's why this material desire came in his heart. We must always be remembering this point. Offending Vaishnavas will cause material desires to manifest in our heart, even though in the beginning there were no material desires. That secret people don't know. And the positive thing is, if you serve devotees, the desire to serve Krishna will blossom like anything. I was hearing yesterday from Haridas Thakurji and talk between Haridas Thakur and Mahaprabhu. Very clear, Krishna only knows his devotees, nothing else he knows. So if we please devotees, our enthusiasm for serving bhakti will increase. Any devotee for that matter, new or old. If they are more advanced, you get more benefit, but you will also get credit for serving new devotees. Make sense? It's not that I can offend new devotees and get away with it. You think it is possible? Sometimes we think we can only serve the senior devotees and Guru Maharaj, but I can easily offend some new people and get away with it. Dhruv Maharaj became a Paramhansa within 6 months. Who knows who will become a great devotee after 6 months? So I was just reflecting today that this should become a part of our sadhana to become respectful. Yes, people will offend us, people will do so many things, but this should be a sadhana. Just like even if you don't feel like chanting, we chant. Why I'm saying this? For a Vaishnava, real danger is Vaishnava Prad and Nama Prad. This means 7th offense, committing sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. These two, if it is avoided, all other offenses get washed away by simply repeating the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, by repetition. Ji Goswami says, for first offense and for 7th offense, a Vaishnava has to suffer. Before I go further, I make you more frightened. Yesterday I read in the purport, if a person is normally sinful, the general laws will act on him. But if a person is offending Vaishnavas, Krishna personally punishes him. Personally. So we have to be very careful about this regard. Now say, Hare Babuji, hum to phir Vaishnava ke duri rahenge. We will remain away from Vaishnavas. No. We have to understand, just like current is there, I have given the example. So we use the current, but we don't make sure we don't get electrocuted. No, we don't do that. We don't become stupid. If we just remain a little bit humble, and then we can make so much advancement. And you must remember, we can only make advancement by association of devotees. And you must also remember, devotees are also very tolerant. Just like Haridas Thakur was being beaten in 22 marketplaces, and Mahaprabhu says, because you are praying for the Muslims, I could not do anything to them. So it's not that Vaishnavas are touchy people. You know, touchy, you understand? A little bit you say something and you offended me. It's not like that. Vaishnavas are also very tolerant. They are like Lord Vishnu only. But what the whole point is, one should be very submissive, one should be very, very obedient, and one should be very, very respectful. Then you see how our bhakti blossoms like this. It just requires some intelligence. If we actually think it requires a lot of foolishness to offend devotees. Why I'm saying this? Because this lust will manifest in the heart of a devotee only because of this. This is not my words, Siddhant. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, he served Naradji, all material desires finished. And Jai Vijay offended the four Kumaras and material desires manifest. Very nice, very clearly established in 7th canto Bhagavatam. So one has to be careful. So you understand the point? Okay. Gita Bhushan commentary. From anger arises loss of discrimination, sammoha of what is proper or improper action. Just like, again, Shobhari Muni forgot that he was a rishi. He is supposed to be a celibate, renounced person. And then he goes to the king Mandhata and he says, I want to marry all your daughters, 50 of them. I'm sorry. He wanted one daughter actually. But he was not looking nice. So then then the king said, yeah, you can marry any of them if they like you, if they choose. The king was very fearful because this rishi was very powerful. You know that past it? So he was also very tricky. He said, yeah, if any of the girl liked you, then you can marry her. But the girls were saying, we don't want this. Then the rishi understood and then he made himself very, very beautiful. Very young, very nice. Then all 50 of them want to marry him. So then he enjoyed with them and with each of them, maybe 10 kids or no, so many kids were there and he was completely enamored. But then later on, this happens with any yogi. Even if he falls down, later on he will realize, oh, what I did, what a foolishness I did. I was doing so much austerity, I was so happy doing my meditation and now I'm just enjoying like this. And then he leaves the home again. This is also a fact. Even if a person falls down, after due course of time, he will just become stabilized. But better to have a life in which is just focused on Krishna and go back to Krishna. And if we keep on hearing regularly, even if there are allurements of Maya, we can remain fixed. Okay. So Sammoha, you have understood? What is improper and proper? I tell you how this works. When we start meditating on sense objects, we may know what is good, but we will not have the strength to do what is good. And a kind of vacancy is in the heart. Vacancy is like khalipan. A vacancy in the heart, feeling I must gratify my senses in this way, otherwise I won't be happy. This is the whole procedure. Everybody can understand this. I know one brahmachari in our ashram. He had this service to sound management. How much effort is there in sound management? Putting up Govindavadi Purusham, putting a mic, and he was saying, Prabhuji, there's so much service. I have so much headache. Literally he was like, Prabhuji, I have so much headache. I said, what is the big headache about it? I mean, putting a mic for Mangalarati, putting a mridanga is not big a headache. I could not understand what is a big headache about it, Then later on I found that he was having some affection for some girl outside. So he wanted to get married and that was the headache. And now he's very nicely doing his services, working very hard for the wife and kid. So you understand? He forgot that why he joined the ashram, everything he forgot. And I appeared to be like a enemy to him. We have no problem, you want to get married, fine, but don't make a show that, Anyway, so he was forgot. This can happen with even devotees. We see it happening, proper and improper. I have seen again the example of another brahmachari who was enticed by 2 married Matajis. Completely forgot what he was supposed to do, why he had joined the temple, all those things. Finished, now back to his home. I mean, must be doing some devotional service, but at least lost the opportunity now. He could have just served indirectly and served Krishna and then went back to God immediately. This happens. And I'm saying it openly because I'm seeing it openly happening. One person just, I'm telling you, in an institution, these things happen. Some people just stole some money and thrown out from the temple. What the temple will do? You're cheating, is it not? And they completely forgot what will happen to me now. So this happens from dhyate vishan. So we must understand, we're not just simply going to learn the shloka, we have to apply the shloka. Today I was chanting, I had a very nice japa today. And suddenly bad impressions were coming up. What I said, no, we have to speak it. Internally I have to say, no. Remembering that if I give this attitude to my mind, oh, this is very pleasurable, this will make me enjoy, what is it? What is it? It's very good to enjoy. Finish, then the whole cycle will start. Material thoughts will come. It will come for a long time. Those impressions are there in the heart. But if you start upadhi, in Sanskrit the word is upadhi buddhi. If you start thinking this is very good, then we start planning to enjoy those things. Make plans to enjoy their sense gratification that way. Please understand the whole process of Maya. This happens. She does not leave anyone. Same thing over and over again. Same thing over and over. Make sense? It's not an easy thing to control senses. From Sammoha arises destruction of memory of his plans to attempt to conquer the senses. Smriti Vibhrama. You understand the word Smriti Vibhrama? He forgets why he has started his spiritual practice. We must remember the shlokas in context are in context to a person who's trying to control his senses. What? What is it? We just stopped. Wi-Fi is not working. I'm working with my audio is coming. It will have some trouble because somebody called. That's why it just gives trouble. Don't call me. My phone. Can you understand? Don't disturb me in the class. This is the difference. The phone cannot understand, and the person behind the phone who's giving the ring also can't understand. Okay, so now you understand Smriti Vibhramaha. That's why we have to replenish our Smriti with Shastra every day. Now you understand? जो शास्त्र नहीं सुनेगा वो भूल जाएगा कि भक्ति करने के लिए क्यों आया था. And even if it is not attachment to women or anything, person may become entangled with politics, which also happens in ISKCON. I must tell you. Because there are some people who want politics. There is no need for politics in ISKCON, but in any institution there are some Mahatmas who want that. So now let them have it. Let them have that pie. We don't want to have that pie. Pie, samajh rahe hain? Ice cream or whatever. We don't want to discuss it. Please remember, you will find some strange fellows always in ISKCON. When I was not initiated, one person came to me. He said, "Why don't you take initiation from that Guru Maharaj? You will go to America very easily." What? I have not joined ISKCON when I want to go to America. Yeah, such blatant people, are not conscious. So don't be in an illusion that people are not like that. It's a hospital. All kind of crazy people also come. I mean, we are all crazy to less and more extent, but strange people come. So what I'm trying to say, when we don't hear Bhagavad Gita, when we don't hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we forget the purpose of human form of life. I give a very simple example, very nicely, because we are discussing the problem and we are also discussing the solution side by side. So that's how we are discussing it. How to remain, have that smriti that I am the soul, I am not the body. So here again and again, hammer it. I am soul, not the body. I am not anyone's son except Krishna and Radha Krishna. I am nobody's servant. Means in a sense of material attachment. Makes sense to you? My only duty is to serve Krishna. And that should be, how to say, feedback circuit, like a feedback circuit. It should be reimposed again and again in our heart, so that this is on this life I want to dedicate to Krishna. At least that determination has to be there. Even if you fall, I will not leave the road. Patti karenge, I will just bandage myself and again to serve Krishna only. Just like that devotee who got bewildered by that Mataji's, then he went back to his home. I'm not rejecting him. I said, you please come back. He does not want to come back. If you get a bullet somewhere in your hand, you repair the hand, you fix the hand, and then again fight. We do not say, "Arey, main to goli lag gayi. I have been hit, I will not fight." That is not a mood of a soldier or warrior. So the Smriti Vibhrama, you understand? Forget the purpose of human form of life. He was supposed to control my senses and engage them in Krishna's service. He forgets that. From this destruction of memory arises destruction of the determination necessary for obtaining knowledge of Atma. Buddhi nashaha. Very nice. So when I am forgetting and that I am controlling, I have to control my senses. So where will be the determination to control my senses? जब यही भूल गए कि इंद्रिय संयमित करनी है तो ये संकल्प ही कहाँ रहेगा? You remember today I gave you that japa talk. First is there is determination or intention. Sorry, intention. First is intention. So there has to be intention. I want to become associate of the Lord. I want to go back to Godhead. Everything else is detailed later on. First thing is I must desire. I want to go back to Godhead. Then whatever it takes, I will do it, and it takes very little. Actually speaking, it takes very little to go back to Godhead. It takes a lot to go to hell. Chanting Hare Krishna does not cost anything. Just wake up in the morning and then chant Hare Krishna. And now we have association of devotees also. But you see, I mean, this is also available for, the plan is for available for others also who want to have some kind of material life in this world. But best is to not plan for material enjoyment in this material world. I don't want to name her, but I had a talk with one Mataji, and she is very educated and she's earning very nicely. But she has a plan that after her marriage, she will give up her job and serve her husband. So that's fine, it's nothing wrong, it's good. So why can't we give up our job in the material world and serve our real husband, Krishna? It's a very natural, is it not? I said, why are you going to give up the job? Such a nice job. No, I was preaching that way. Such a nice job, such a nice education. Why want to give it all up and serve her husband? Future husband. Same question is asked to us also. You had a big job, you had a big education. Because Swami is there, no? We are married to Krishna now. So we are serving Krishna. This determination should be there. Whatever happens, no matter whatever happens, I will serve Krishna. Ye life Krishna ko deni hai. Just like that Mataji is thinking, when I'll get married, I'll give my life to my husband. That is natural, is it not for everybody? You see that happening all over the place. Our mothers have dedicated their life to their husband. That's natural. So dedication, all of us know how to love, all of us know how to serve, all of us know. Just we have to apply to Krishna. That will be told by Srila Prabhupada. So this determination, this intelligence has to be there. No matter what I fall or not fall or whatever my situation is, I will not give up serving Krishna. Because that is my Sarupa. I hope I'm not discouraging you. I'm just giving you a simple point. And most intelligent person will find his way so that he can exclusively serve Krishna. Little less intelligent will do 50% service, 50% like that. And little more less intelligent will do lesser and lesser and lesser. Depending how much we are intelligent, depending on that we'll serve Krishna. I was just telling to one devotee, and this you can always, it's a very nice meditation which I always do. How many people are there in this world? We actually cannot imagine. Among them, how many people are there who are actually Krishna conscious? I mean, I actually jumped up too much. How many people are there who are religious? How many people are actually following some proper religion? Even in India, if you select, you can only count on hands, very few people. And out of them, how many people are worshipping Vishnu or Krishna? Very few. And out of them, how many of them who are actually having a Shastric basis of their worship? Now you can understand how rare it is to be a ISKCON devotee. And then connected to acharyas who are coming from Goloka. So we forget it. That's why we see so many people disappearing from Brahmacharya ashram to again Grihastha ashram. One fellow is writing a script in film industry. I said, Kaudiya, you could have written a blog for Krishna, is it not? Be a Brahmachari, you can write some blog for Krishna. Now you're writing, stupid fellow, you're writing a newsletter for, not newsletter, sorry, film script. Arey, teri script kharab ho gayi hai. I told you, your script, your life script is becoming bad. One simple reply he gave me, which I was very angry internally. Prabhuji, everybody wants money and independence. And then I just kept quiet. I said, fine, go ahead. My blessings are there. From destruction of determination one again sinks into the ocean of material enjoyment and continues in sansara. Pranashyati. We understand this point? Now this determination to control senses is lost, and then he begins to enjoy senses. And what is the result? We have been enjoying our senses from the previous lives. What happens? Impression comes. Then we again enjoy the senses. What happens? Impression comes. And then again we enjoy the senses, and then we get a body to further enjoy senses. We don't reflect upon this. Our parents are foolish if they are not devotees. They don't understand what kind of suffering is coming in front of me if I have to take a birth again. Don't listen to them in this regard. If they tell you to don't chant Hare Krishna or don't do bhakti, don't see right and don't see left, because they don't see anything. They are simply blind. Simply blind. I don't know, some Mataji asked me, I think yesterday only. Yeah, she is practicing Krishna consciousness, even just 2 rounds. So the mother is objecting, you should not chant Hare Krishna now. Your dadi is there, I am there, this and that. Then I gave a simple argument. Then you said, okay, you should chant Hare Krishna. The daughter can say, you should chant Hare Krishna. She is not chanting Hare Krishna. Then at least the dadi should chant Hare Krishna. The dadi also, the grandmother also is not chanting Hare Krishna. So who will chant Hare Krishna?
She has no work.
She has no work and she has no intelligence also. That she can see, Hindi में कहते हैं कब्र में पैर लटके हुए हैं. The legs are there in the, what is that? Graveyard. And still they can't understand this. My grandmother only watches television. She does not chant Hare Krishna. To the effect, she told me many years back, I know Krishna is God, but I will not worship him. They are so adamant. They want to go to hell. What can you do about it? Only thing you can do about it is you practice your own bhakti nicely, then Krishna will deliver them.
Her grandson.
So you reflect, this is very simple point. Sansar, sansar chalu ho jayega. What is that sansar? It's very ghor, it is very ghastly. To be again in the womb of a mother is very ghastly. Again, I'll repeat, a student should not prepare to fail. Then he will fail, is it not? A student prepares to get very good grades. If you try for 95%, then you get 90%, is it not?
At least 80.
And if you're trying for 33%, then this is very serious stuff. People don't understand. Really serious. We are not supposed to take birth. Give full energy and then see what happens. People are mostly doubtful. Hoga kya? I mean, they can understand that we will take birth again, but they say, kya Hare Krishna se ho jayega kya? Just this much only. So we should, but you see here Shastra, what does Krishna says? Does he tell you to do very great austerity? Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskar. Twice he says the same thing. He does not expect you to do any kind of austerity except executing Bhagavad Dharma. Yam gyatva amritam ashnute. Yamraj himself says, a person who understands bhakti, Bhagavad Dharma, he tastes amrita. He will become immortal. If you start thinking about it, you become so enthused to do the little bit austerity of bhakti. Little bit, just waking up early in the morning. So, without surrendering to me, the senses connect the weak mind to the respective sense object. Weak mind, you understand? The mind, you know that rasi, that rope which controls the horses, similar, the mind is compared to that. Now the mind is very weak. Oh, that sense object, like this, get drawn away by that sense object. But then which sense object you would like to listen? All the sense object want to go in different direction. Then which direction I'll go? Which direction my chariot will go? Have you ever thought? If I start thinking of all the sense objects, then where will I go? I'll go to hell. We must remember this, the horses do not have discrimination. The discrimination is in the chariot driver. So that's why chariot driver, which is compared to intelligence, has to be replenished. Or the word is supplicated with transcendental instruction from Shastra and Guru and Sadhu. Then we fix our mind. Nahi, abhi ye nahi karna hai. I will not gratify my senses. And even if a person falls to sense gratification, okay, no problem. Again, I'll try to control my senses. Make sense? Will not give up the fight. And you'll become more and more stronger. As you chant Hare Krishna, you must know the secret. The desire for sense gratification is getting eliminated. I'll repeat this. as you chant Hare Krishna, as you hear Bhagavad Gita, the very desire from the heart, which is called avidya, ignorance, by which we desire sense objects, that itself is uprooted. So as we become more and more advanced, even if the sense objects are there, you will not be attracted, which will be the subject matter of next shloka. Maybe not be able to discuss today, but that's the subject matter of the next shloka. Even if the sense objects are there, you become indifferent. You don't feel any attraction to them. And I think the devotees must be experiencing when they go to the market and you see gulab jamun and jalebis, do you feel, do you feel that? Earlier you must have felt, is it not Golgappa, Golgappa? You don't even notice, have you not? We just don't even notice what Golgappas are there, what hotels are there. Which, nahi hota na? Is it not happening to you right now? Was it happening to you earlier? You remember? Yeah, we will go to a hotel and we'll go for even 14 kilometers just to eat some Golgappa. You know, in Lucknow it was like that. 14 kilometers on bike to eat some Golgappas. I was just reflecting, if you actually become a devotee, one thing you will, actually nice devotee, then one thing is you will save a lot of Lakshmi. Because senses, because you to waste so much Lakshmi. And even this, one of my sweater has some holes. I don't feel like changing. I'm like, agle saal change karunga. Who knows? Anyhow, nobody sees, you know. In the video, you cannot see the hole in my sweater. So it's work. Baki to brahmachari sang rahi hai. Kya hai? This false identification with the body makes you spend so much money. This sweater, this quota, this, that, this. Is it not? I would suggest those who want to be renunciate in future life, try practicing it. Have 4 sets of clothes and repeat them. And you will be seeing it doesn't make much difference at all. Rather, you become so free from this desire. How I'm looking today? Just become free. Just try that. 4 clothes and you repeat them. In the sense, you clean them every day and repeat them. Prabhuji, 7 bhi nahi. Nahi, 4. Just 4 is sufficient. We have 4 dhoti kurtas. Actually, I have 3. Sufficient. Okay, when it is not very warm, it is difficult to make them dry. So give concession 6, maximum 6, not more than that. Normally, if you open people's almirah, there's so many clothes. We must start practicing a simple life. Everybody, even some brahmacharis will have 10 dhoti kurtas and silk dhoti kurtas and this and that. Prabhupada says for grahasthas also, they should dress very simply, not like a materialist. I will show you when we're going to read it somewhere, we'll find it out. Yes, yes. Note, verse 60 spoke of the senses taking away the mind by force to sense objects, and verse 62 and 63 describe the effects coming from that. So, in 62 we have discussed that when a mind is absorbed in sense gratification, then attachment comes, and attachment from attachment, lust comes, from lust anger comes, and then 63 describes from anger illusion comes, from illusion person forgets his real memory, and then he loses his intelligence that he is supposed to control his senses. Therefore, one who wants to conquer the mind must worship the Lord. Now, what happens? In the beginning, it may be very difficult to control the senses, but then you develop a taste for Krishna consciousness. Are you able to understand this? Just like, I don't think it must be difficult or too difficult to sit in Bhagavad Gita class now. But in the beginning, for many people, it is just too much. You know, they just can't hold on for 1 hour. They will constantly look at the watch. Constantly. Because समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है कि क्या बोल रहे हैं. Just can't understand and appreciate what is being mentioned there, and they constantly look at the watch. When I give class, I can feel what kind of listener he is. You know, just महाराज बोलते हैं, ये भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि क्या समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. You know, person can't understand what he is not understanding at all. Just blank. कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आता. Just like somebody tells me about share market, he can give a long speech, but my mind will go blank. Sometimes I had a conversation with my uncle, and he's into share markets, and he was giving some speech, and my mind was blank. I could not hear anything. I just don't remember what he said, anything. Makes sense to you? You know, the same thing happens for spiritual things. Sarvabhauma Prabhu was giving class, and he's a very great, great means he's a devotee, but he's a big manager in UPSCB. And he told me, what is that? Annabhilashita Shunyam, Prabhuji was explaining. And he could not understand. Even one of my student, Himanshu, was telling, is it still Maya again? He told me that he was outside working and then he came for a Shravan Utsav. On that day we had 3 to 4 hours of discussions and classes. And he said, I'm just not able to focus, Prabhuji. When I was chanting nicely, I was practicing Krishna consciousness nicely, I could very easily understand what you were speaking. एक बार में समझ में आता था. Whatever subtle points you were saying, I could catch immediately. Now I'm not able to get that. So don't take it otherwise. Your chanting of Hare Krishna is giving you taste for Bhagavad Gita. One devotee, I think Ayush Mataji, told that I have no taste for chanting, I have taste for discussion. This taste for discussion is only happening because you are chanting Hare Krishna properly. If you don't chant Hare Krishna properly, this will all be very boring. क्या कर रहे हैं, क्या बात कर रहे हैं? This cannot understand all those things. Because all these subject matters are very subtle, and then only a person who has subtle, fine intelligence can understand it. Even when I'm saying all those things, they are quite subtle. Subtle intelligence is required to understand what is subtle intelligence. समझ रहे ना मेरी बात? ये समझना ही बड़ा मुश्किल है. I have seen several times I speak. What is the difference between human beings and animals? I was explaining in Hindi. People could not understand. Then I say, आलू का दाम 5 रुपए है. वो क्या बोला? हाँ, आलू का दाम 5 रुपए. लेकिन इससे पहले भी तो हिंदी बोल रहा था मैं. I was just surprised. In a village, I was giving a class. 4 points I explained, and it's so difficult. People, because of sense gratification, they become so dull, they can't understand even this point. Anyways, what can you do? Purport. Srila Rupa Goswami has given us this direction. So what I wanted to say was, when you start controlling your senses by engaging your mind and senses in Krishna's service, in the beginning it may be difficult, but later on Krishna begins to reveal taste for those services. Then it doesn't become difficult.
Yes.
Are you able to understand this point? That's what I wanted to say. Purport. Srila Rupa Goswami has given us this direction. प्रापंचकितया बुद्ध्या हरि संबंधी वस्तुनः मुमुक्षुभि परित्यागो वैराग्यम फल्गु कथ्यते. This shloka you must understand very carefully. It's very good. प्रापंचकितया बुद्ध्या हरि संबंधी वस्तुना. प्रापंचिक means material or prakrit or made of material energy. प्रापंचिकतया बुद्ध्या हरि संबंधी वस्तुना. A vastu, an object which has some relationship with Hari, a person is thinking with prapanchik buddhi. That means with the materialistic intelligence that this is material. Mumukshubhi parityago, a person who's desirous of liberation, he may give up those objects which are having a relationship with Hari, thinking them as material. Then vairagyam falgu kathyate. Such a renunciation is Falgu. Falgu means cheating. There is a Falgu Nadi in Bihar. You know that? So there is no water on top. The water is inside. So it is not a real river. Similarly, a person who does not know everything belongs to Vishnu, and anything which can be used for Lord Vishnu's service is spiritual. And if he gives up that object, thinking that I'll become bound by using that object, then his renunciation is material or useless. Falgu, you can always say useless or artificial. Are you able to understand this shloka? This is extremely important, my dear devotees. Suppose, is this webcam useless? Is webcam stand useless? Or this laptop useless? Or this table useless? Or this mouse useless? Yes, they are, if they cannot be used for preaching Krishna's glories. But they are very important if they are for Krishna's, for using, if they can be used for Krishna's service. My body is useless or useful? Useless. If it cannot be used for Krishna's service. But if it can be used for Krishna's service, then it must be used for Krishna's service. Taking care of the body is part of devotional service. That's why devotees don't do unnecessary austerities. We do not give unnecessary trouble to the body. Are you able to understand? I will tell you something more nice. I heard from Maharaj Bhakti Samit Maharaj. If you look at a flower and you think, oh, I'll offer this flower to Krishna, immediately that flower becomes spiritual. Everything is actually spiritual in the sense that everything is Krishna's energy, even though it is inferior. But as soon as you use it for Krishna's service, then it doesn't bind you to the material world. So why the word is mumukshubhi? A person who wants to be liberated, he will be fearful to use objects here, thinking I'll become bound in karma. Are you able to get this? But a devotee understands anything which he uses for Krishna's service, for the pleasure of the Lord, he won't be bound. Are you getting this point? So devotee understand, I am not the enjoyer, I am only a cooperator in Krishna's service. Is it very clear? So I just like our, I forgot the name, Vipin Prabhu has joined just now. So I told him, learn tally. Hari Prabhu, sadhu banne aaye the. I have joined to become sadhu and you are telling me to learn tally? This doesn't tally my intelligence. But you know that tally, learning that tally has some service to connect Krishna. Then it is spiritual. Does it make sense? Yukta Vairagya. You know, I just told you want to do some service. Okay, you make some agarbattis for Krishna. Whatever business is being done for Krishna or for Gomata. Does it make sense? I think that much intelligence all the devotees must be having. Itna to samajh mein gaya na. Everything is Krishna's energy, so you should use Krishna in Krishna's service. By development of Krishna consciousness, one can know that everything has its use in the service of the Lord. So nothing is useless. If I think something is useless, I am useless. That's the whole point. Nobody is useless. I give an example, very practical example. Our one Gwala is there. His name is Sudama in our Goshala. He's a very devotee, sadhu type person. He could not do much physical service. So one of our managers said, "Isko bahar pheko, is useless," and like that. I was thinking of how we can engage him. And our security was really useless in the night. He will only sleep. After 12 o'clock, they will sleep. You must have seen, they will sleep. So I said, why don't you give the service to Sudama? All night he can chant Hare Krishna. And nothing much to do as a security. He can just keep the other securities awake. And he's doing that service very nicely. Now, no more complaints. So you see, every devotee, every person has his utility in Krishna's service. The real leader is who can engage people as per their capacity. One quality by which he can be engaged in Krishna's service. And you must be seeing that the quality which Krishna gives to you comes so automatically to you. The other devotee's quality you cannot match. But something which comes to you is something very natural. It's like आपके system में chip, internal chip बना के रखी हुई बात. Something which you can do nicely. I am telling you again and again. I give my own example, my own difficulties. I just can't count money. It's not I'm detached. If I try to, I'll make so many mistakes. Whenever somebody gives me Lakshmi, I just put in the drawer and forget about it. I just never count. And I ask one person, okay, please come and help me and count this Lakshmi. I've tried so many times with numbers and mathematics. I can only, like one devotee told me, Sanak Sanand Prabhu's wife, she did not tell me, Prabhuji was telling, that Mataji is very good in learning shlokas, but she can't conjure, she has to speak philosophy, she can't do that. She can learn the shloka very immediately, but when it comes to understanding and explaining it, she can't do it. You understand this point? We must remember, doer is Krishna. He will get something done through us. So never, first of all, never compare yourself with others and just see what comes naturally to you. What comes naturally to you. You just see that and use it in Krishna's service. Nothing is material. This is a very nice shloka. We are hitting the same thing over and over again.
Actually, everything is spiritual.
Everything is spiritual. You use Krishna's service, then finish. No problem. Very, very nice thing. Yesterday I read from Chaitanya Bhagavat. Again I read it. It was beautiful. In an internal consciousness, there's only one vision. Krishna is my Supreme Lord and I am his servitor. And in external consciousness, the vision is there are objects to enjoy and I am the enjoyer. Beautiful point. I'll repeat it if you can get this. In the internal consciousness, I think I am servant and Krishna is my master. That is internal consciousness. And external consciousness means objects are around me and therefore my enjoyment. So we can even act externally but remain in internal consciousness. Are you able to understand? This is what is being mentioned here. I am Krishna's servant. I am doing this service for him. Beautiful things. Now how it comes to me? It just comes because Krishna just announced it to come. I just read it yesterday while sleeping. My mother was singing me some lullabies. Who's your mother? Chaitanya Bhagavat. So I heard lullaby from my mother, Chaitanya Bhagavat, and from there I get a nice point. Every time I always get a nice point. It's amazing. This Krishna reveals every time some nice inspirational point. Those who are without knowledge of Krishna consciousness artificially try to avoid material objects, and as a result, although they desire liberation from material bondage, they do not attain to the perfect stage of renunciation. And it's quite interesting. Can he actually renounce? You have to sit somewhere, is it not? Can you renounce earth? I was really laughing on this. I was returning from hotel program, and there was a Naga Baba. I mean, not Naga Baba, Jaini Baba, who had given up all his clothes, but he had to wear specs. I was just laughing. I said, if you are really renounced, then you should give up the specs also. What is the value of giving up the clothes? Isn't it? Wear the clothes and preach Krishna consciousness. Useless renunciation. But you have to wear the specs. That foolish fellow said, no, you should give up the specs also. This is stupid, stupid. I don't want to use this word, but that's actually the word for them. Stupidity. Pull your hairs. What is the point? Krishna is not pleased by that, and Krishna specifically will tell in Bhagavad Gita, unnecessary austerity, they displease me. He actually used the word, they displease me. It's not Krishna saying ki chalta hai. He says, actually they displease me. Unnecessary austerity. Austerity should be done to purify the heart. I don't know what kind of austerity, if you pluck the hair, how the heart gets purified. Just the ego gets increased. Their so-called renunciation is called Falgu or less important. It's very easy. On the other hand, a person in Krishna consciousness knows how to use everything in the service of the Lord. Therefore, he does not become a victim of material consciousness. Even at that time, Srila Prabhupada used dictaphone. If you have read Prabhupada Lilamrit, he had sent Brahmanand Prabhu to have contact with Dai Nippon in Japan to print Krishna book in very nice print and very nice quality. What not Srila Prabhupada has used? Airplanes and everything. Very nice example given by one devotee. Very beautiful example. He said, if the thief is running in a car at the speed of 140 kilometers per hour, what speed the police has to run? 150 kilometers per hour. You understand? Beautiful example. So now people are using technology and all those things. They run away from Krishna. To catch them, we have to use all our resources to bring them to Krishna. And use the technology better than them. You understand the point? A materialist will try to protect his body for sense gratification. A devotee protects his body more than a materialist, so that he can execute Krishna consciousness more nicely. समझ रहे ना मेरी बात? Okay. I should not speak Hindi, but anyways, some comes. For example, for an impersonalist, now this is very nice, the Lord or the Absolute being impersonal cannot eat. Whereas an impersonalist tries to avoid good eatables, a devotee knows that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and that he eats all that is offered to him in devotion. So after offering good eatables to the Lord, the devotee takes the remnants called prasadam. This is the most nice part of this lecture. Prabhuji should repeat it again and again. What did you read? I'm not fully satisfied. Read it again. Prasadam, prasadam, yes. Thus everything becomes spiritualized and there is no danger of a downfall. So you see, don't take it otherwise. When a person does not get nice food, this is something very subtle. Other senses, if you do not give them sense objects, they become controlled. But if you don't give nice food to the tongue, it becomes more voracious. So, I want to eat more, is it not? Normally on Ekadashi, you won't feel hungry by 6 a.m. But on Ekadashi, the mind is saying, today is Ekadashi, today is Ekadashi, is it not? Maybe devotees are more advanced here, they don't think about it, but normally on Ekadashi, we think like this, today is fasting, today is fasting, today is fasting, like this. It's like that. Although you might get prasadam at 9 a.m. only, but still the mind is saying, fasting, 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 like this. So the solution, this is comment by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And if you don't feed yourself, then the senses become controlled. But if you don't feed yourself, the tongue becomes uncontrolled. So the easy way is to take prasadam in regulation. Not eat that much that we cannot digest. It's in this regard, a small comment. Jayanand Prabhu was a very nice devotee and he used to serve very nicely. And somehow somebody said, you should eat only 2 chapatis. Then he came to Prabhupada and told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, it's too difficult for me to, I have to leave, something he said, I have to leave the temple or something like that. I said, why? He said, somebody is telling that I have to eat only 2 chapatis, Prabhupada, I cannot live only on 2 chapatis. Prabhupada said, who told you to eat only 2 chapatis? Eat as much as you want, as much as you can digest, but serve Krishna. And I tell you, this is a real life experience. That fellow is not, he joined the ashram with me and he did unnecessary austerities. It was Kartik time. I said, Prabhuji, can you serve prasadam? No, I'm eating only one time. What is the value of your eating one time if you can't serve the Vaishnavas? And now he's left. He was focusing on austerity part of Krishna consciousness. You don't have to do that. Austerity is that whatever Prabhupada has told. Do morning program, do evening program, take prasadam, serve Krishna. This is our austerity. Case closed. Why I am repeating again and again? Because people are doing their same repetitive mistakes again and again. One brahmachari, I said, he was waking but 1:30, 1 o'clock. I said, don't do that. Just do the regular things. And now he's, I don't know where he is. Roj khane se, if you eat 10 kgs today, will you become fat immediately tomorrow? It just doesn't work. In eating also we make a regulation. Na? Roj khayenge to अच्छे से strong होएंगे. We cannot grow within a day also. It's a very, very important point. So I'm just saying, regulated way, he takes prasadam and he remains happy. Thus, everything becomes spiritualized. And you must be noticing, the more we now become Krishna conscious, even taking food it feels like every khana padega. Do you feel like that? I don't know. You don't feel like that? No. But if I take morning, I become hungry. But evening, I have to eat, I feel I have to eat, because otherwise I'll become hungry in the night. It's like a foundation. So from 3 to 2 and now from 2 to basically 1.5. And we have not endeavor for it. It's just normal. So as you become more and more advanced, all these material needs will automatically become less. But you must understand, prasadam anyhow we're going to take in the spiritual world. So we are doing the activity of the spiritual world. That should not be stopped. And they will think, and I will tell you, one brahmachari, one person joined, and he just saw the devotees taking prasadam and he left. He said, oh, I'll also eat like this and I'll just enjoy my senses and then I'll drop. Or some crazy idea. Can you see how close they come to liberation and they leave? I can see that just so close to liberation and they leave. Complete foolishness. Thus everything becomes spiritualized and there is no danger of a downfall. Very easy. If you are hungry, somebody will entice you with a jalebi. But if you have taken prasadam up till neck, for example, which is also evidence in Mahaprabhu also, when he was serving prasadam, he will, if you somehow one day, maybe all of you enter into Mahaprabhu's pastime, if Mahaprabhu serves you prasadam, you should remember he will give you 5 times what you need. That's how Mahaprabhu was serving prasadam, 5 times. I don't know how devotees were eating also. But they were dancing in Kirtan also for long hours. It's not that only eating and sleeping. But that's how Mahaprabhu is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He will give 5 times food. That's how he loves his devotee. 5 times. I don't know how devotees were eating. The devotee, can you 5 times? Like you gave me 2 jalebis. 5 jalebis and 5 times rice and 5 times everything 5 times. Too much. And the Supreme Lord is serving. How can you say, don't serve me? You just cannot say, He personally serves with his hand to his devotees. How much he has love for his devotee, less like a mother. The devotee takes prasadam in Krishna consciousness, whereas the non-devotee rejects it as material. That means he's Krishna directly coming in front of me. Krishna is so merciful, he's coming in the form of prasadam, he honors it. I have so much to speak on only prasadam, but when, what Haridas Thakur demanded? I'm sorry, not demanded, requested. In Mahaprakash Leela, Mahaprabhu said, what is your desire, Haridas Thakur? And Haridas Thakur, I have such an exalted desire, I'm feeling shy. No, whatever you say, I'll give you. He said, I want remnants of Vaishnavas. I was just, and you will be surprised, yesterday Partha Prabhu asked me, is taking prasadam among the 5 potent forms of devotional service? And I had answered no. And I was wrong. Because I forgot one of the 5 potent forms of devotional service is association with Vaishnavas. Is it not? I just completely forgot that point and just clicked. You'll be amazed. I was supposed to read Chaitanya Charitamrita and before my sleep. You'll be surprised. And then suddenly, and I was thinking that I am putting Chaitanya Charitamrita on my bed. But when I finally went to bed, it was Chaitanya Bhagavat. Then I was thinking, anyhow, I'm going to read Jagai Madhai in Bharatpur. Let me read something else. And just as I opened, it was Haridas Thakur asking for remnants of prasadam of Vaishnavas. I said, oh my God. Anyhow, I'll rectify it in the evening. Oh my God. Haridas Thakur is chanting 3 lakh names. He has such a deep faith in remnants of Vaishnavas. Obviously, it means remnants of Lord Vishnu. It's very potent. I'm sorry to have said this in the Hindi class. I will rectify it. It's very powerful. Very powerful. Bhakt, Bhakt, Bhunkt, Avashesh, Teen Mahabal. I just completely forgot the whole point. Narad Ji took remnants of the Vaishnavas and then he developed the nature of the Vaishnavas to glorify Krishna. So I'm sorry to say that, but I was amazed that how Lord inspired me the same night to open a section arbitrarily where Haridas Thakur is chanting 3 lakh names every day, is requesting one request: may I get remnants of the Vaishnavas, pure devotees.
He Goswami also take the remnants and transfer and wash the rice and then
Yeah, amazing. Anyways, the impulsive therefore cannot enjoy life due to his artificial renunciation. Just like we enjoy so much nice music. You can play mridanga, you can play kartal, you can play harmonium. Where is the question of giving up music? Is it not? We tend to underestimate it, but it's so nice. Whatever you can do all for Krishna. There is no रोक नहीं रहा आपको कोई. बहुत अच्छी बात है. And for this reason, a slight agitation of the mind pulls him down again into the pool of material existence. It is said that such a soul, even though rising up to the point of liberation, falls down again due to his not having support in devotional service. Srila Prabhupada here is quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam, Aruya krachena param padam tataha patanti nadita yushmat padangre. A person will do very severe austerity and he will elevate himself in terms of consciousness, but because he has neglected the lotus feet of Krishna, serving the lotus feet of Krishna, he will fall down again. Because we are constitutionally servants and servants of Krishna. So if we desire or we are in a situation anything except that, we will be in a meta state. Meta state, you understand? Unstable state. So that's what Prabhupada says. All these impersonalist way will say this Jagat is mithya. So then why you open a hospital in mithya, my dear Prabhu? If you say everything is illusion, your hospital is also illusion, then why you glorify yourself as a very great service? So we understand we cannot give up being servant because that is our Swarupa and we are Krishna's servants, so we must serve Krishna in whichever capacity you can, and that way you will be happy. I'll stop here. I'll see if there are some questions or comments or virodhabhas or anything. Little bit disturbance, Prabhu. Very witty remark. Jain ascetic. Yeah. I did not remark to him. I just observed him. I did not have time. I was in a tavera with full clothes and a spec also. So you are not so foolish. They're completely foolish actually. Completely foolish. Just see if the leader is foolish, how foolish will the people be? Actually, Prabhupada said, dress nicely when you preach. First dress and then address. Prabhupada used to put things very nicely. First dress and then address. So we put a nice thing, like everything nice, shave properly. A little bit I have to shave, but you can't see that much, is it? Not that bad. Okay, any questions? Akash Prabhu, any comments? No. So we shall end here and, oh yes Prabhu.
What Mahavir is?
See, the whole Jain system has been started by King Arhat. Following the footsteps, not following the footsteps, imitating Lord Rishabdev. Lord Rishabdev gave up all his clothes and he was rolling in his own stool in a forest. But you must remember, his stool was smelling fragrant for 8 miles. Our stool will not smell like this. So, but these foolish people were imitating. This is mentioned in Bhagavatam. So from there, imitation religion has come. Anukaran. Anusaran nahi. That is called Jada Yoga. But that can only be done by Rishabdev, not by any person in this world. So all those things are there. So Bhagavatam makes everything clear. So I hope everybody liked this shloka. I will stop here and then continue from tomorrow. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद।